And so back to your core question about like, what am I looking for? Number one, are the people solid? Number two, are the financials predictable? And then three, is there room for me to add value? And I'm looking to add value in two places: async process and some type of improvement on distribution. I'm really big on bringing kind of consumer influencer marketing tactics to B2B spaces. I just think there's so much more room to grow there, where the personality is helping you reduce your customer acquisition costs. And so those are really the big levers. And then there's some intangibles on like, do I believe that these are the right people that are going to stick around? Are they all going to bail? Like, you could sign a key man clause and people still don't stick around. Your earnout could still get, fumbled. Like all sorts of things could still go wrong. So even with paperwork, it doesn't mean that it's all going to work, but those are the real anchors. And the key piece there on the cash flow, kind of wrapping up this, is I really am looking for predictability. I don't want to see a hockey stick. I don't want to see, whether it's linear or exponential. I don't want to see, oh, we had this amazing year, and then there was this, one-off expense that we had to factor in 20, 22. Like, remember, it was the pandemic. Like, there's all these stories that people will tell. I'm looking for consistency, because that tells me I don't need to be in a rush to go make changes. If that thing just sits there for a year, it should not break. And so those are, the things I look at most consistently. There's a slight asterisk where I do buy service agencies, at a very small level, and that's just purely a cash play, because those are very brittle. You don't get great multiples. They won't grow. But that's a nice way to, if you need to, let's say you have a deal, you have a distribution, and now you got $300,000. You don't want to pay taxes on that. What do you want to do? You can go pull that in with service collective agreements, and effectively, it's almost like an acqui-hire. You can bring those folks in, and now you're tapping into that cash flow. And so those are like small little tactics that get piled on. But at the high level, it's really about looking for that most kind of durable cash flow revenue stream.
Yeah, and what I found so interesting about this industry is everything is so contextual, right? Because you
Yep.
definitely you could look at the last 5 years of financials, but it tells you a story. And someone like yourself that has obviously looked at hundreds upon hundreds of deals and obviously said no to a lot of them, you've kind of gotten a pattern of like, okay, what does this contextually look like? And I love
Yep.
what you mentioned where when you're looking at buying an asset, this asset, if you acquire no, someone told me about this, if you acquire no more clients, is this cash flowing as is if it brought in no more clients? And I love that concept because it allowed you to understand, hey, you know what? Yes, it is, or no, it's not. And it can answer that specifically. Because like you mentioned also, now you can look in the actual the marketing side, the front end, the top of funnel, the mid funnel, the customer service, things like that, increasing the LTV, those small intricate details that then you can just adjust and modify that make 1%, 2%, 3% better, but you do that consistently throughout the whole company. And then all of a sudden you get a 20x return. And how did you do that? Was just with those small incremental things that they were not actually either measuring or actually integrated into their business.